Just a lozenge?
Because he's run down.
Well, why are you making fun of my illness, okay? I call it being run down. What do you call it when you're run down?
You sound and are acting like you're sick.
Yeah,
so I would just say I'm
down.
sick. Yeah, but you said I don't call it sick. I'm run down.
You are taking cough drops
Yes.
and medicine, so I am a little curious.
I don't think,
He was chewing them when he walked in. That's why I was like, he's sick.
I didn't catch something. My body is just run down.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like I caught a cold or like COVID
I'm going to
from
text you in 3
somebody.
days and be like, Mike, I'm sick.
No, yeah, we'll
you
see.
guys can't catch what I have.
Because he's just run down.
Okay.
What'd you say?
We have an event tonight for Xbox, but
Ooh.
okay, I was looking for cough drops because, like, you know when you have the swollen glands and you can't swallow and it's just a nightmare?
You're sick. You know when you have 104
He's
fever?
run down.
You know you have 104 fever and you have chickenpox and an ear infection?
Well, I was looking for, like, cough drops, and then I saw this and it said with maximum numbing, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting.
Have you ever had throat coat tea?
No.
Oh,
This is like lidocaine or something in it. Like it's called benzocaine.
Benzos?
Yeah, it's
Papa Timmy.
oh,
Give me one of those.
I don't know what it is, but it like
the brand?
numbs your whole.
CVS.
Okay, Matt.
He's just paralyzed from this one throat lozenge.
Capacol extra strength sore throat.
Okay.
So it's got menthol and benzocaine, which is just as fun as it sounds.
Benzocaine sounds fun.
So it just like kind of numbs like my whole mouth and my throat, and it kind of feels like when you go to the dentist and they numb your mouth, and you're just like, oh, I can't feel anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's
How
kind of
many
like
are you supposed
addictive.
to eat?
Huh?
I feel like it's something that you are only supposed to like eat.
Oh, yeah, they say once every 2 hours, but
He's just eating them like
I've
candy.
seen him eat 4.
Sorry, he's got to talk a lot.
it's like a little addicting. It's kind of like
Nicotine?
Maybe it is benzos.
no, but it feels like you ever go to the dentist and you're like, this is crazy.
I don't like
can't.
it. I
he'll
hate that
lidocaine.
feeling.
Oh.
Or is that lidocaine? Is that how you say
Novocaine.
it? Novocaine. I hate
Novocaine.
Give me
Novocaine.
I know, it's kind of fun. It's like a new thing. It's like
You
a
got to
little-
get throat coat tea.
What is that?
Just like that.
Does it numb your throat? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's kind of
Ooh.
sick. I should try that.
And it's like yummy too. And it has like obviously other benefits like echinacea, those kinds of things.
I think this morning you
that
should have
help
been
people
woken
who
up.
are run down.
Do you guys have a teapot?
I have
Yeah.
a kettle.
A kettle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A kettle.
Yeah.
I have an
kettle.
electric kettle.
Yeah, me too.
An electric one that is
Yeah.
just plugged in and it gets hot.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of
don't-
those.
We do not own a teapot.
You should get
Oh.
one.
I do not.
Unless you don't like
I
really
just use
need it.
hot water out of like the
Yeah.
water dispenser, and that's basically like
That doesn't get
close-
hot enough for tea,
Water
does it?
I think it does.
It's like- yeah, it's like
I mean,
steaming.
you see the steam come off of it.
Oh.
I think that's pretty
I
good.
love
to
a
go.
teapot.
Mine
I grew up
has-
with one that like whistled.
Oh, so that's a quaint.
Yeah.
Don't all whistle?
No,
No.
the ones that you put on the stove do.
Yeah. Ours was
Electric-
a
That's a
stovey boy.
teapot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
I
teapot.
mean, we call them a kettle in America.
Brilliant for the first guy who was like, what if we made it a fucking whistle on the top?
I know, like,
No,
so
it's-
you
you know
cannot
it's
ignore
done.
it.
Well, it was crazy too because it was like metal, and then it had like a little flap on there, so like that would flip up too. But then there's a hole that lets the steam out, so it would literally be like flapping and blowing, and then it would just be like,
Just chaos.
yeah, and then I'd be
Mine-
like, Dad, take it off.
The one that I have is by this company called Fellow, and it's got a little dial, and you can
Oh, yeah.
literally select the temperature that you want it to be. So like 212,
Those ones are so
205.
nice looking.
Wait,
But
what?
those like the really skinny, like.
Yeah, it's got a gooseneck
Aaron, you would
spout.
love it. It's
That's
so
great
trendy
for like
and cute.
ramen and stuff
What
too.
it fellow?
Fellow.
Kettle?
It's I've had it for like 5 years, and
Oh, it looks like a science
Yes.
Yeah, it
experiment.
looks like a beaker.
it's a very like elegant thing on your countertop. But yeah, you can.
This is like too modern for me.
What's your favorite science equipment? Are you like graduated cylinder people or like
I
Merlin
like
Meyer
the eye
flasks?
wash machine.
Oh, me too. Have you ever used one?
No, but I really wanted to.
Should we buy one? You got that like at a party? Like I bought one
Yeah.
of these.
The whole shower one.
The whole shower one just to rinse off and wash
Like
your
no
eyes.
one my entire high school career. Like I was
Used
never
it?
present for when it was used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably used so rarely, but like they have to. It's funny
Yeah.
they have to install in like every science lab, but I'm sure half of them have never been used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to have them, I guess.
Have you ever pulled a fire alarm?
No.
you know
Not
what?
me, but it's been pulled while I was there. That's cool.
I've never.
Oh yeah.
I've never pulled like a real one to like activate like an entire building, but I want to say I was at like a party and someone bought like a fire alarm and you could
Oh,
like
to see what it feels like.
yeah, just to see what it feels like. I
kinda
feel like I've
nice.
done that before, but I do love a fire alarm.
What were we just say? Oh, I love the microscope. Blows my mind every time.
Oh, yeah.
You get like a little drop of water and you're like, that's literally just water. And then you look at it and it's
Like
a
a
full
bunch of-
ecosystem of bacteria.
It
and
You
is
have that
very
moment
cool.
where you're like, you're gonna want to see this.
It's so cool.
I've made a breakthrough. Come see
Like-
this.
Oh yeah, I love that. Just or petri dish too.
That
yeah, putting
that
stuff
seems
in
like
between.
the
those
least
experiments.
scientific. It's literally just a plastic thing.
But it
there's
grows-
nothing scientific about it.
It- No,
Grow
it is.
bacteria in a safe, sterile environment, and you're able to observe it.
Can't I
Mike.
just buy a piece of Tupperware and get the exact same experience?
Okay, sure.
Why are we calling it? It's like I don't know.
I like the name
Dr.
Petri.
Dr. Petri from
Petri.
Land Before Time.
Yeah. I had a TY like not off brand, but it wasn't like a Beanie Baby. It was like one of the bigger ones, and I named it Petri.
Oh, like a pterodactyl.
No, it was
Oh.
a duck.
You named it Petri.
Yeah.
I mean, Petri
I loved
was very
Petri.
duck-like.
TY. No, that okay.
Beanie Baby.
Ty.
The
Yeah,
name's
but I would
there's-
say TY.
Have you seen the documentary about it?
Yeah.
And
Oh.
the movie with Zach Galifianakis
Yeah. Oh,
plays
so
him,
good.
and
So
Elizabeth Banks.
Is the
Beanie
Princess
Bubble.
Diana one worth any money?
Which one?
No,
The Princess
Beanie
Diana one?
Baby.
Oh,
Maybe like
it
$100
depends.
or so on
It was
eBay.
purple, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has like a
remember that.
white rose
I have
on it.
two of them.
You have two of them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh damn, Aaron!
I remember someone
And you
gave
bought
me
them recently?
No, they've been in
Red
glass
eBay.
cases since the 90s.
glass cases.
Yeah.
It's like with your fine china.
It was crypto for wine moms in the 90s.
100%.
I saw, or someone gave me like a Green Bay Packers one when I was like little, and I was like, I'm gonna be a fan of them now, and then I wasn't.
Oh, I'm just gonna
Sorry,
say.
Aaron.
Didn't they just sign someone? And I think it was Green Bay, or another team that was. I think it's Green Bay. He's like going to be the highest paid quarterback like ever. It was like for over $200 million, and then he got a $170 million signing bonus, and then like a $70 million
Jesus.
something else.
Who's
Holy
Green Bay?
shit.
I'm pretty sure. Let me
Or was it
Google
Jared
it.
Goff?
No,
I was asking, I was like, how much do you think like what is like women's like what sport was it?
Basketball?
Was it a base softball? No, basketball. Women's basketball. And I was like,
Jordan
what's like the
Love.
highest paid? It was like $200,000.
yeah,
Well,
no one's
not
women
for like
watching.
who's the girl? Caitlin Clark. I thought
Yeah.
she got
Oh, I don't
a
know.
lot.
No, I think it was like 70,000, but it's because they make more in sponsorship money
True.
anyway.
Yeah, and
but
the
like
commercials.
of course, like male athletes, they're getting paid $100 million.
Yeah, so it's like
getting the
the
same
diff-
kind of.
Sponsorship. It's
Did
crazy
you see
the
the
difference.
cheese girl?
Yes, that's
From the
so
Olympics?
sick. The Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
Wait,
She's
what?
sponsored by like Parmesan cheese, and so like randomly on her feed, she has like photos with like giant wheels of Parmesan cheese.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing.
Parmigiano.
Jordan Love contract. Yeah, 220 million. Jordan Love, yep, Green Bay is signing Love to a 4-year, $220 million contract.
Love it. Well, good for them.
Incredible.
It's such a good like.
so funny.
Do we think that they knew that this would be weird and viral, or did they like, no,
No.
this is cool?
Yeah,
Or were they like, no, ironically, like we know what we're doing here.
Somebody creative was like, "This looks cool."
Like, but do you like
I
this
thi-
is going viral not because it's like good content. It's going viral because it's fucking insane.
yeah,
To-
no, it's funny.
I'm
Going
saying, do you
viral is
think that
good
they knew it was
anyway.
funny when
No,
they were
I
making
don't
it?
think that they
You thought
knew.
it was like some farmer who was like, oh, I guess we'll do this for our cheese company.
Is there a specific brand?
I don't know. That's why I was like, is it just Parmesan cheese as a concept is sponsoring
Yeah.
this? Like
Because
the dairy
I couldn't
industry?
imagine like a Gen Z person like getting out of college and working at a Parmesan cheese company.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
But maybe. But to me, I think it's the latter. It's just like
It just happened to be insane.
yeah.
And people found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Parmesan
incredible.
cheese.
Me too. I love cheese.
Do you ever buy a block of Parmesan and do the whole like?
We always do.
You do
Because no one loves to.
to do the whole.
We got both.
shebang. I just get the.
I got the
Oh,
shitty
one
green
day-
bottle
Oh,
of
I
Kraft.
know.
Like
And the
block.
plastic, the
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-shredded.
Oh, yeah, it's like
100%.
Oh, it's easy.
It's
yeah.
that shit's made out of like plastic, dude.
So is everything.
No, it's no. If you get a real block of cheese,
Yeah, but
it's
I just said I got both. Like we like having both.
that the green top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do like that one.
Don't be
that
a
hits.
hater. You Postmates every day, so
Not anymore. Deleted the app. Except if they're sponsoring this episode.
And you
ChatGPT is
said
also
you
good for
get pre-made
recipes.
meals. You get pre-made meals.
I go to the kosher grocery store, and they have like a hot bar there, so I'll get like a bunch of like a catered tray of stuff, and then I'll heat it up throughout the week
In the microwave.
in the air fryer. Don't.
He's like, don't belittle me.
It's wild how much you infer properly about me with not having dated me, knowing my like intimate routines.
Wait, what does that mean? Like,
Just like I would
Just keep
microwave,
questioning.
Yeah.
like I would microwave food. Like that's a very thing that you would know. Like if you spent a lot of time in my house, but
Yeah.
Aaron knows that just because.
Because we're buds.
Yeah, it's
Because
funny.
guys, we're dating. Surprise.
Well, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Good Influences, your favorite podcast. Today, our topic, we're just going to stem from it and still chat, but we're going to be exploring outdated social norms, things that we still do on our day-to-day basis, but we're like, is this outdated?
oh wait.
Or
I
did
got-
you
I
go
took it
to
a-
social
well,
norms from
I have
back
a
in the
little bit-
day?
I have
Mine
a little
was-
bit of a mix, but I thought it'd be more interesting, in my opinion, to do old ones that we don't do anymore that like
Oh.
would be crazy. But I have
Let's-
like a couple that are.
Well, let's go dive into the past and
Okay.
see what we used to do.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
saying,
when
like-
I thought outdated
Well,
social norms. I
hold
thought-
on. We'll get to it because
Okay.
I don't know what that means, and I'm excited to find out.
Oh, what? I don't understand. I don't understand.
There's two things that outdated social norms could be.
Mine
One
was
is-
like stuff. I assumed it was like things that are still happening that we should stop
That's great
doing.
because I
That's
have.
what-
that's
that's
great.
what you
'cause
interpret
okay.
it
She
as.
has ones now, and I have like old ones.
On
so we
this
can
side
kinda,
of the room, it's things that people used to do that we don't do anymore.
So
like they're
old
outdated.
social-
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was like, what are like the silliest outdated? Because obviously I looked up like old social norms and it was like slavery. And I'm like, okay, well,
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
talking about that. But I went more silly route where it was like people used to do that. When you, okay, so formal attire for air travel, like everyone would dress the fuck up.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, it's just crazy because like when I fly, I literally am dressed down so hard.
Sweatpants.
Yeah.
Although wear your fucking socks, on
wear
the
socks.
airplane.
And
But yeah,
also,
it was.
because I think it was like mostly wealthy people flying. I'm assuming so they would be dressed up.
And
Some-
just like businessmen.
Because you would get off the plane and you'd probably go straight to your whatever
Yeah.
business trip or thing
I
that
always
you were
like
doing.
feel so bad when I see a guy in a suit.
I know.
Like they're
On an
going
airplane?
straight to a meeting
Oh, I know,
somewhere.
that
I do.
sucks.
Sometimes I love looking at photos from even back like in the 80s and 90s at sports games, and so many of the people in the
Yeah.
audiences are wearing suits because you would go watch a game right after work.
Yeah.
And that was another one that I read or I saw where it was ties. Like,
Oh.
But I like ties. I think ties look great. I think they complete a formal fit really, really well. But a lot of people are just like, what's the point of this?
oh really?
The tie serves.
Are people sort of like over ties?
Yeah, I think you start seeing ties less and less and less in every type of like semi-formal situation. Usually sometimes like the tie would be like maybe you don't wear a jacket but you wear the tie along with whatever you're wearing.
I feel like as a woman, like thinking who likes fashion, like if I were a guy who had a corporate job where I had to wear a suit, like a tie would be so fun.
Yes.
Because that would be like the flair of the fit.
And I think they're getting less and less popular because there's less occasions to wear it. And men, I don't think, know how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
And so they're
Especially
like,
a
why
bow
am I
tie.
going to futz with this thing that I don't know how to
Yeah.
actually
Why is it so
do
complicated?
Because you
Loop,
have to get the
swoop, pull.
measurement right, or like you want the tie to at least get right above your belt. A lot in it, if you're not
There's a lot
used to
of
tying a
room
tie,
for-
you're
Yeah.
going to make it short, and it's not going to hit.
like-
There's different types of knots, and
Because when you start it, you have the long side on one side of your shoulder and the short side on the other, and you have to like
Measure it,
balance
right?
it that way it ends up in the right amount. So like if you start it this way and then you do the whole process and then you finish and you're like, damn, it's only up to here. You got to restart it all over again
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then try and
Men
readjust.
have it so rough.
I was just
I
going to
know.
say, I really thought that you guys were just soaring through life very easily, but
Ties are
a
so
bow tie
complicated.
though, like tying a bow
Yeah.
tie is awful.
Yeah.
and then you're pulling up a YouTube video
No.
of some guy going, "What's up, guys? This is Dapper for $1," and he's tying the most hideous looking bow tie.
TJ
And-
literally did that as we were walking to your
Oh, yeah.
wedding.
Remember that?
I
was
set aside
set-
45
ceremony.
minutes before I need to be wearing a bow tie because I cannot even. I have three different
clip-on.
videos.
And no men know how to do it.
It's so hard. It's
And it
so
doesn't
hard.
even look that good.
No, it never
You have
looked good.
to perfect tying a bow tie for it to look so good.
Yeah.
I think just doing a clip-on is just the way to go. Nobody
Yeah.
ever goes, "Is that a clip-on?"
I do that.
You do that? You go to parties and go,
No,
"Is
you're
that a
just like, that
clip-on?"
looks so good. How did you tie that? Is
no,
it a
I
clip
would
on?
never call someone out for having a clip on, but I go to like, here's it mirrored, here's it this way, because like if you're trying to tie it and you're using a mirror,
It's
like
so hard.
Oh, it's impossible.
TJ, whenever he brings a bow tie, he always asks like every guy, like, hey, like the night before or something. He's like, do you know how to tie a bow tie? Every single time, everyone says no.
I'm with him.
No, yeah, you have to. I know the basics of it, but
Avril Lavigne really brought back the tie, though, in a cool
yeah.
way.
for sure.
But also in the olden days of when air travel was like hip,
Cigs.
the smoking on airplanes was crazy.
Cigs. They were
But
blasting
That is
cigs.
being
really
a
crazy.
flight attendant was
Sorry, that was me.
oh, I thought it was like your phone or something. Being a flight attendant was like a very desirable job. Like girls would come out of school.
You'd meet a rich man
Yeah, and you
who's
just
married.
like had to try to apply, and it was like almost like a beauty pageant fashion show to be a flight
Look
attendant.
at photos of Pan Am Airlines and
Yeah.
like the shit they were wearing.
And like the magazine
So
ads of like
sick.
what airlines you should fly, and they're like, maybe you'll meet Becky, what they would call them a stewardess back
The
then.
like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Yes, that's what like being
Yeah.
a flight attendant used to be.
This episode is sponsored by Way, one of my favorite hair care products, and also they got lotion and soap and other things that I also love. I'll get into that later, but like I do love this brand a lot. And it does feel like a lot of times shampoo, conditioner, etc. are one size fits all. And that's where Way comes in because it is not one size fits all. Whether your strands are fine, medium, or thick, Way has shampoo and conditioner that's your type. It's actually very cool. They have a quiz on their website where you can kind of like narrow down what kind of hair you have and what kind of products you should be getting. And so they can like figure that out for you. I have a couple favorite Way products. I have their leave-in conditioner. That's a spray, which I use it every time I wash my hair. And they have a hair gloss, which I use maybe like once a week in the shower. And it just makes my hair feel really nice and shiny. And it smells so good. Everything they have smells so good. It's crazy. Wash your way to healthier hair with shampoos and conditioners made just for you. Go to THEOUAI.com and use code GOOD for 15% off your entire purchase. That's THEOUAI.com, code GOOD.
As you're
And
in.
smoke out on airplanes.
That is disgusting.
Smoking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I had for like an
That would be like
outdated,
my nightmare.
an outdated social norm no, I guess it is old, but like you could smoke anywhere. Like in restaurants, it'd be like a smoking section and a
Yeah.
non-smoking.
They still
but,
have
like,
that in like
still rem-
Tokyo.
It's like
But
there's this difference.
do you remember as a kid going into places and there was smoking and non-smoking?
Yeah.
And, like, I remember the smell of cigarettes indoors as a kid.
Yeah.
Like at establishments, not like that much.
I feel like
in
I don't
homes.
really.
I went to Applebee's so much.
Yeah.
It's like distinctly Applebee's. I remember them being like smoking or non.
Oh my God.
And before it got banned from it. I remember it getting banned,
disgusting.
and I was so happy about the bowling alley because when you'd go bowling, you'd come home
Oh,
smelling
yeah.
like cigarettes. And when they banned it from bowling alleys, I was like, thank God.
If you have a non-smoking section and a smoking section, the whole restaurant
a
is
smoking
a smoking
section.
it doesn't matter.
It's not. Yeah.
I remember it with like hotels.
Oh, non-smoking
Oh,
or
yeah.
smoking
Yeah.
room.
They still have them in Vegas, but I booked.
You booked a smoking room.
I booked a smoking room at the Flamingo.
Was it like, did you
Dude,
smell it?
double ew.
Yeah, but I could smoke in the room.
Oh.
So, because I didn't want to like have to go out in the hallway and like smoke. Dude, it was one night,
Just
and I was
blasting
just like
cigs
for
in
fun.
bed. That is gross.
In bed. Old times.
Yeah.
I also wanted to add, this is just interesting. Some say that well-dressed passengers, we're still on the flying one, may
Thank you
receive
for
better.
pointing at me.
Huh?
I said thank you for pointing at me.
You're welcome. Some say that well-dressed passengers may receive better treatment from the cabin crew if they're dressed up, such as upgrades, freebies, and more respect. For example, a gate agent might be more likely to upgrade a passenger wearing a jacket and tie over wearing flip-flops.
Ooh, I mean,
That is
I
true.
still think that can work in situations. If you dress up and you look good, people
really
will
going
say
to,
like,
yes
a club
to
or
you.
something.
Well, they're not going to. If you're wearing flip-flops and shorts and like a tie-dye hoodie, you're not
Back
going
of
to
the
get the
plane.
upgrade. They're not putting you
Yeah.
in first class because first class has to have a look to it, unless you pay $8,000.
It's crazy.
Could you imagine though, like being in a suit or like a really nice dress, and then you get delayed for 13 hours?
Right.
Like that would be my nightmare.
I'd be like, I'm buying all the sweats in this airport and changing.
because they probably didn't even
13
have that
hours?
then.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Me and Eric got
like-
stranded
Even
for
like
13 hours.
5 hours.
I know,
Just
you're
sitting
in a
there
suit.
in a suit.
I'm thinking about the Uber on the way to the airport, sitting
Yeah.
in a dress.
and the shoes, wearing dress shoes at the airport. Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Part of me,
Especially if you
like,
don't
I
have
kind of would
TSA
want to do it.
pre-check.
I don't know. I like. To
You
just,
should
like,
do
I
it
like
on
to
your
just
next
rough
flight.
it up and think I'm just like an intense businessman.
On your next flight, you and Patricia should like dress the fuck up.
I'd
Be kinda funny.
I would do it. I don't think I would like just knowing that my jacket is getting like. I wouldn't wear the jacket in this seat.
You have to.
You do?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
For your wedding, me and Caucasian James were not intending to be on the same flight, but we ended up being on the same flight, and we were wearing boots, cowboy boots, because we were going to Alabama, and then that was the only shoes we had. The other shoes were the dress shoes for the wedding. We landed in Miami. We were supposed to get a...
You
What?
only brought a pair of cowboy boots and dress shoes?
Well, it was the wedding, and it was like 3 nights, and I
my
was like,
God.
we're going to go out to like a bar. I mean, they're like comfortable. They're not
Okay.
like unbearable, but I did not bring a pair of sneakers, and neither did James. And we landed in Miami. We're supposed to catch a layover from Miami to Birmingham. We had an hour and a half. Like, it'll be fine. We land. First of all, we took off 40 minutes late, so we're already fucked.
Classic.
Then we land, and they don't let us off the plane for another 20 minutes. So we had maybe 13 minutes to get from where we were to the gate in the Miami airport. The gate that we went to was the furthest possible gate in the entire airport. Me and James ran full speed in cowboy boots, breaking down in sweat, schlepping our luggage, taking breaths every like 30 seconds, like, okay, let's
Cowboy
rest. And then we like considered taking our shoes off. Like, is this better? Stopping the guys in the trucks to be like, hey, can you please drive us? We're about to miss our flight. They're like, you have a reservation? We're like,
Oh, you
no.
have to get a reservation for those things?
Uh-huh.
How do you reserve those?
We get to the gate, 3 minutes we missed it by.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced if he would have had sneakers on, we would have made it.
You
But
would have made it.
Yeah.
so I think sneakers
Well,
when you're flying,
you
even
gotta,
if you're
you
wearing
gotta bring
a suit.
running shoes if you have a
Yeah.
layover, just in case.
What are some other ones?
Oh, I thought like spanking in school.
Oh,
like nuns.
yeah.
Oh,
My mom
school.
went to Catholic school and she'd be like,
You're like in the bedroom.
Yeah.
or just spanking
Oh,
your kids,
school,
I guess.
yeah.
But I think people still do that. But like,
Still do what?
Like spank their kids.
Oh, so many people do that.
But it's just crazy that, yeah, my mom went to Catholic school and she's told me so many times, like nuns would literally spank you.
Oh,
Like,
really?
With a ruler, like your
Rule on
hands.
knuckles.
Yeah.
I got my knuckles bruised by a lady.
I've never heard that. By a nun?
I'll
No.
follow you into the dark.
Yeah.
The
Death cab.
Dash.
Catholic school. Vicious. Sorry. But yeah, my dad went to Catholic school all the time. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like now it
You,
would be.
all of
you
our
hit
parents
my
did.
kid?
Yeah, now it'd be a whole TikTok. Be like, so my daughter goes to blah 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 school, and you won't believe what the teacher did.
Yeah.
Pull
I
up
think
a
that was
little-
just so much because their parents were hit all the time in school, and so
Yeah.
it just gets passed down, and they think that's just the form of
Yeah.
discipline.
That
We
was
were-
like,
Go ahead.
when in my grandparents' house, we would go there and there were like sticks hanging on the wall, and one of them just had like a bunch of like, it was like a wooden stick with a bunch of like pokey things, and like literally they're like, that's what we would get hit with.
Oh my god.
Pokey things on it too.
Yeah, like other parts
The
of the wood.
chokey.
Yeah.
You guys know the choke.
Oh,
But
yeah, the
and I
choke
never
is
was like,
uncomfortable.
are you kidding?
You're gonna puncture
Like
my
your grandfather
butt.
will hit you with this if you
So it's,
don't
like,
behave.
spiky?
Yeah.
And I guess people don't really hit their kids anymore. That's a crazy.
I think a lot of people still
I
do.
mean, people do, but that's a.
It's really
can you
debatable,
Can you
though.
just imagine hitting a child?
I know. Like many other ways to go. Like
What are we doing
I'm
here,
like,
folks?
yeah, I can.
I mean, I know, but like, if a 4-year-old
Of course,
is
no.
like doing something, you're an adult and you're gonna hit a
No.
4-year-old. It's insane.
Like spanking, I think was like
like
the
on the
thing.
butt.
Yeah.
Hit him on the butt. I don't know about all that.
I would never.
I remember
But
we used to
people
get,
do it.
We used to get choked out in my elementary school.
Choked out.
Yeah, because I don't know, they would just be rage. The teachers
What?
would rage.
Yeah, my science teacher put his hands on me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Pin
That
me up
happened-
against a wall.
That happened
That's
to me
I'll never
crazy.
forget it.
all the time.
Mr.
The principal
you say-
did
you
it.
say his name.
If
No,
a kid's
I
like
don't.
mouthing off at lunch, I remember the principal would just pick the kid up by their throat and just be like,
What?
Oh yeah,
I forget you're so much older than us. That makes sense.
He's like their parents'
2
age.
years older than you. Get
know.
the
You
fuck
get
outta
nuns
here.
in school too.
What the
No.
fuck?
Did you guys
Yeah.
ever have to do like timeout and go sit in a corner, but like face the corner?
No.
Oh,
Like the dunce cap
sometimes.
thing.
Oh yeah, not
In
in
school?
school. We never had
Oh.
to do dunce cap, none of that stuff.
Cindy
but
was doing
in
it too?
daycare, like this
Oh.
woman's house, we would go stay in. If we were in trouble, we had to go stand. We couldn't even sit in the corner.
Oh.
That's good
stand and
discipline.
look at a corner.
I like that.
And then one time I was dressed up as Rudolph, and I had like lipstick on my nose for like I
That's
don't
like
know, some
a-
skit, and she pushed me into the corner, and then my nose touched the corner. She goes, "Look what you did," and I'm like, "You put me
Gaslighter.
over here," and then I had to sit there and just clean the wall in the
Oh
corner.
my God.
I remember
my
that
God.
so vividly.
Sorry, this triggered a really random memory, but did you guys have Book It?
Book it.
It was like you read a certain amount of books a month, and then you get like stars for the books, and then if you get all of them, you get like you're a part of the pizza party at the end of the year.
yes.
I remember there was one month I just didn't read the book, and I was taking the quiz, and I think it was like before school had started, but like I was supposed to do it before school or something. And there was like 3 other kids in the room, and they were all helping me because I was like asking them, like, I don't know the answer, and they were all helping me. So after I finished, I obviously was so paranoid like all day. And I remember I was in a class called reading. We had reading class, and I was just sitting there by myself, just reading something. And that teacher for the quiz I took came in and was like, "Can I speak to Carly really fast?" And I was like, "Oh my God, this is it." It was literally nothing to do with, I was like, "Oh my I thought I was going to get spanked."
Did you ever get hit when you were a kid by anybody? No violence?
No violence, I don't think.
Weak.
Yeah.
I remember there was.
I'm a snowflake.
I was in English class, and there was this like it was like almost like a brain teaser, almost like this really long riddle, like of a story. And it was like our homework, and then we had to discuss it in class the next day and figure out what the ending was. And I just Googled it, and I found out what the real ending was. And when we had to go into our discussion groups, I was like talking with the group.
Like,
and
well,
I
I think it's going to be
I'm
this.
talking 6th grade here, and I go, I Googled it last night, and I know what the answer is. And the teacher like heard me say that, but then she got in front of the entire class. She's like, "So did we all have good discussions? Good discussions. We talked about what it was. Would love to hear it, but I just want to say somebody cheated. Somebody cheated in this class, and I know who you are, but I'm not going to say your name." And I remember just
That's
sitting
almost
there
worse.
like,
That's a power move.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
a
got
good move.
tunnel vision, and my whole life was just like wah 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 wah, and I'm like, and yeah,
Did they ever say anything to you?
no?
Whoa.
She almost did like something where it's like, "Come talk to me after class," and I didn't do it.
The
I played
snark
just
of your
blind.
teachers, man.
What
That's,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
she wasn't even talking about you?
yeah, what if it
That'd be
wasn't?
crazy.
I don't know to this day, and actually, she was one of my favorite teachers.
You should ask
and
her.
Should I?
I think that'd be
I've been wanting
hilarious.
to send her an email just to say like, "You were my favorite teacher," because I'm always kind of worried if she's gonna die, like, or because
You
what?
should- no, it's like a
I
funny
gotta
thing to
think
say.
she was probably 65. Now she has to be like 85.
Yeah. Hopefully she remembers. I'd be like, "Do you remember?" She probably
She
doesn't.
would. She would remember
You
me
think?
for sure.
No, I think
because I
she'd remember you,
nominated her
but-
for the Disney Teacher of the Year too.
You did what?
I nominated her for like, you remember like Disney Channel would be like, "Do you have an amazing teacher? Send us like
no,
a thing."
but that's so funny.
Yeah, and then it win like $80,000 in a trip to Disneyland or something.
And she didn't win, but she like got notified that I nominated
Maybe if she won,
her.
she wouldn't have been mad at you.
Maybe.
Okay,
Sorry.
child violence, outdated.
Pretty outdated.
What about elbows on the table?
Oh,
I don't
think
care
about
about
that.
You don't think?
Well, it's weird. I guess I do sometimes. I'm like, this seems rude, but like, I don't really care.
It goes back to like history because apparently back then like the tables were very like makeshift and stuff and not that like stable of a table.
Oh.
And so if you had your elbows, then it could like flip the whole table.
Oh,
You gotta go to Latte
Interesting.
Larry's. They got stable tables.
Yeah,
no
nothing's-
wobbly tables.
nothing-
But I
Nothing's wobbling
think if
there.
you're like, you know, having dinner with the king or queen and like, or the president.
my
you
elbows would
should-
not be on the
If it's a
table.
white cloth like dinner table, I
White
don't think you
cloth?
should. A white cloth?
I said White Claw.
Oh no, a white cloth.
White cloth themed
table.
party.
I don't think. I guess you should have elbows on that. But I also sometimes I'm like, why not have a fucking elbow on a table?
I think it depends on who I'm with. If I'm with people that I'm comfortable with, I will never think about it. But if I'm with someone that might have gone to etiquette school or has some level of
Cotillion.
that, I will be mindful of having my elbows on the table. But do
Such a
you
weird thing, like now. To
do
think
you
about that.
immediately put the napkin on your lap when you
Yeah,
sit down?
I do.
Patricia
Yeah.
does it first thing. I always like wait until like I think the food's coming and then I do it.
Immediately.
I think I
put
do it right
on.
away too, just like out of just. I don't even think about it.
Because like the forks are normally all wrapped in it.
Yeah.
But I don't think like I'm getting anything yet, so I'm just not rushing to do it.
Yeah.
Do you follow or ever see any of those guys who are trying to give you etiquette tips on TikTok or Instagram?
Oh yes,
where
I
it's
like
like,
the British guy.
That guy.
Next time you order, you don't need to point at the menu. Simply fold it, leave it down, and say the dish.
and then
Simple.
all the comments are like, "Fucking nerd!" Like,
He's amazing.
I only ever point when I don't know how to
Pronounce
pronounce
it?
whatever it is I'm ordering.
I think if you just know that it's like a type of pasta that's the one like noodle, you don't need to say the entire thing. Just say, "I'll have the penne, please," and they know exactly.
Well, I don't
what-
say penne.
Or
yeah,
penny.
it's penne.
Sorry, my bad.
You should be
I just go,
pointing.
"Hey, where's the bathroom?" And then they go, "What, sir? Please be quiet."
Yeah. No, because like if I'm at like a French restaurant or something, sometimes it's like
Oh, it's
all like
impossible.
in French speak, and I'm like, I don't know how the fuck to say that.
We call that French.
Yeah,
French speak.
French speak.
I like a menu that has pictures of the food.
Me too.
Ew.
Oh, I love a picture.
Like a
I need to
sushi-
see it.
Sure. Look
Cheesecake
it up on
Factory.
your phone.
Like a
If it's
sushi
an
restaurant?
establishment. Okay, if it's
He
fast
said
food,
ew.
I understand. There's pictures at a Burger King, but if I'm eating at a restaurant and you got to show me a picture of what it is,
I
want to
know what the spaghetti and meatballs looks like.
But like you don't go to their Instagram
Oh, I'll
or
do that.
yeah.
Do your
No,
research
sometimes
before.
I
Or
do.
they're
I'm
like
being,
Yelp.
I'm being silly, but
Yeah.
like I do like at a sushi restaurant where they just have a picture of everything. And I'm like, this is perfect because maybe I don't know what some of these things are. Maybe I want to try something. I don't want to get disappointed. I like
Yeah.
the picture.
Those Applebee's menus, they got all the pictures. It's basically a picture book.
I do like it when there is an illustration of what a cocktail looks like in the glass that it's going to come in.
Oh, that's nice.
Because
Cute.
sometimes, like you're a guy and you order a cocktail and it comes out in the most like feminine looking like drink, and you're like,
you got a
Fragile
pinkity
masculinity.
a
drinkity.
little bit, but like sometimes I'm like, I didn't want this, like
Patricia, I got your drink right here that you ordered.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
my pinkity drinkity.
I have one. Calling people Mr. and Mrs. as a sign of respect.
They do that in the South.
I
Still,
don't
right?
understand.
Like
Yeah.
like
But-
Mr. Mike.
Or Mr.
Mr.
Sheffer.
Mike?
Like
If you're a
you
doctor,
better
though,
refer.
Who do you want people to call, like in what
Like
context?
when I was growing up, like one of my parents' friends would be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, Scott?" And you go, "It's not Scott, it's Mr.
got it,
blah
I
blah
got it.
blah." And I'm like,
Oh.
"Okay,
Oh,
don't get
I think
offended."
The first time meeting them, you usually, I would say Mr. and Mrs. And then they're like, please call me this. Like, that's just like a proper back
But why?
and forth.
I
Well,
don't
he's
understand
a Southern
it.
boy, so he's probably.
I do it out of habit. But then if you say I can call you by your first name, I'm calling you by your first name.
Well, I had
But
it
if
the
you-
opposite. I called someone by their first name when I was a kid. My friend's dad, and he goes, "That's not my name. It's Mr. Blah blah blah." And I was like,
I think as a kid, I kind of get it. But as an
Doctors?
adult,
I just don't understand
But
it.
if you're a
What-
doctor, I'm calling you Doctor so and so
yeah.
because you really, I think, earned that title, and it's just a sign of respect.
like a friend that, like, even if you have a friend who's a doctor,
like who? What? Who's my age?
yeah, like our age. Like I have a friend who's a
No,
doctor.
no. I wouldn't. That's funny you say that because, oh my God, yeah, I guess I do know doctors my age, but I wouldn't call them doctor. But if it's like a friend's dad who's a doctor, I'm calling them doctor.
It'd be funny if like you became a doctor, Mr. Sheffer or Dr. Sheffer.
Yeah.
I had to
Master.
call Mike that.
Yeah.
You should go to school just so he has to call you
For
that.
19 years to become a doctor.
Well,
yeah.
no, you could get like
Well,
just
there's
in like
PhD,
English or
which
something.
is a doctorate.
Yeah.
but that's different than
You're
medical.
still a doctor.
Yeah.
Did you have any teachers growing up at your school who were doctors? They weren't Mr. or Mrs. So and so. They were Doctor
Yeah,
so
I
and so. And it was
remember
like
that
third
story
grade.
I told. I emailed one of my professors and I was like, "Hey, I forgot blah blah blah," and he was like, "First of all, I'm not hey,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
Doctor
yeah.
blah blah." I was like, "Okay, sorry, geez, fragile masculinity."
First of all, anyone starting an email with "first of all,"
It was rough.
How about we
man.
just delete that
I'm
part?
on his side.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
The Mr. and Mrs. thing, I'm over it. Just fucking get over it.
Yeah.
We're not in the royalty of the London court. Like it's call him
London
John.
court.
Do you do yes sir, no ma'am?
No, I think that sometimes. First of all,
No, ma'am.
just
ma'am.
in
I do it
No.
all the time.
20
But you
24?
were raised that way.
I guess.
I don't risk it in 2024. I don't want to miss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. True.
Which is like, so now I just say thank you so much. No. Sometimes the like, if you're sure, you could throw in a sir or a ma'am, but I don't even think it's worth risking it these days.
Patricia, I don't say yes sir, no sir, or yes ma'am, no ma'am to my parents, but Patricia does to her own parents, and like all
She
of
says
theirs-
it to
Yes,
her
sir?
parents.
yeah, yes sir, no ma'am. There's certain questions where it's like yeah, like or
I need an
you would,
example. Role play.
Like, oh, Patricia, did you go pick up that thing from so and so's house? Like, yes, sir. Like, that's.
Oh, that's
like,
so weird.
But so all of them do that in their family. I'll do it with their parents now all the time. Like, I can't not do it.
Yeah, it almost feels like rude
You're their
to not.
Oh, to me, it's like I'm their property. Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
master.
No, it is weird because like when I catch myself doing it, I'm like, who am I?
Yeah.
What is happening right now? But my own parents, like, no.
This episode is sponsored by Osea. You know when it's time for the everything shower and you want everything to be perfect. And Osea has a new algae body wash that is citrusy, it's all natural, and it smells incredible. Undaria algae body wash infuses your shower with the healing power of the sea. I personally like the gel-like texture that it is, and it rubs into into this really rich lather, and it just feels incredible on my skin. And it makes it feel very soft, and of course the scent lingers, and I love that. Osea's Anduria Algae Body Wash is an everything staple. It's natural, plant-based ingredient to help support skin's moisture barrier and cleanse without stripping. Upgrade your shower with clean, vegan face and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code GOOD at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on over $60. Head to OSEAMalibu.com and use code GOOD for 10% off.
This one I was like giggling. Chaperone dates was normal in like the 20th century. Chaperone dating is when an older person accompanies a couple on a date to ensure they don't cross intimacy boundaries. The chaperone could be a biological parent or a mentor couple. Some reasons for chaperone dating include heartbreak, lack of communication, and traditional gender roles. Some benefits of chaperone dates include preventing couples from crossing the lines, learning to address disagreements without attacking each other, learning patience, and seeing issues from your partner's perspective.
Chaperone or chaperone?
That lasted pretty.
chaperone.
Like there was a Seinfeld episode about that where Kramer had to be the chaperone because
Yeah.
Jerry was dating like a Miss America pageant, and the girls couldn't go on dates without a chaperone.
Interesting.
So this probably was around for pretty recently.
I mean, it was still around like school
Yeah.
dances. We'd have like chaperones, but like
Oh,
chaperone
yeah.
dates is crazy to me.
Is that why she's called chaperone? Because it's
No.
chaperone?
No, no. It's just my brain was
question,
like,
to
That's
be
just a
honest.
word I haven't heard in so
I
long.
love
Chaperone?
it's a beautiful
Yeah.
sounding word.
Chaperone.
Chaperone.
But like you would have
it
to, yeah,
French?
the
It'd
parents
be a
would.
cool like
Yeah,
like,
for
brand
sure,
like
I bet.
label.
But like, yeah,
Chaperone.
that's a thing. I mean, when was the last time you even heard about that? I guess
just
if you're
school dances, that's how I
Yeah.
or like a
picture
field
it.
trip, but we need a chaperone for the school field trip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, field trips. Did your parents ever
My mom
be chaperones?
always
on-
came to field trips because she was like a stay-at-home mom, so she had the time.
Chaperone. Does chaperone mean anything else?
Yes.
Are we sure about this?
Yes.
What is chaperone?
Chapel, I believe, I think it's Chapel is her grandfather's or someone in her grandfather's last name or something like that.
Okay.
And then Roan is a part of a song.
Nope, don't buy it. Anyway,
Something like
Chaperone.
that.
Just call her chaperone.
it's a great name. Her whole
If you
thing
say chaperone
is
really fast, it sounds like you're saying her name.
chaperone.
Oh, this is one where it's more of a weird social norm. They don't know if it's like outdated, but like giving cards to someone you see regularly in real life.
Giving
Cards?
cards?
I don't, or someone on just Reddit was like, I never understood why I get given birthday cards from people who literally live like in the same house as me. Just say happy birthday to my face.
I love cards.
Oh, birthday card? No, that's nice.
It is nice. When I saw it, I was like, oh, interesting. I do see the point of like sending a birthday card to someone who you are not with
Yeah.
as a way of like, here, wishing you a happy birthday this way. But it's weird. We see people happy birthday, we get them a card, and they're
Like
like,
it'd be weird if like any of us sent each other like a happy birthday card.
Like in the mail?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't send
I think
anyone
it's if
cards.
you-
with money.
Yeah.
Send each other like $5 or $10. Just
My
like,
parents literally one year were like, you never send us Christmas cards. I'm like, I'm not sending anyone cards.
Yeah.
Oh, you and TJ don't do Christmas cards?
No.
Okay, if a friend, how many Christmas cards do you get from friends?
I only get them from people who have like children who make those weird fucking printouts.
And you don't put them on your fridge?
I do.
Oh, so you're
Our
at least you're
producer's
hanging them
laughing.
up.
Yeah, but
You're
I'm like,
doing a little-
just text me a
like,
picture.
I got one from your brother and Olivia. And
Yeah.
it was just like, I mean, it's lovely, but it's just not it's a very strange phenomenon. Here's a picture of us.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Like
It's
getting a
seasonal.
card that's literally like not even ones with like Christmas cards are so weird.
Yeah, it's
like
a
you're
strange
spending
thing.
like whatever $1 to send a card to someone that just says like Happy Holidays.
I love ones that come with like a really long note of just the mom summarizing up the year. Like this
Oh,
year,
yeah,
Brantley
yeah.
joined the soccer team and she's the captain.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's doing violin. Davis is doing
I-
karate. Like
I think I get it for people who have kids because like we were kind of talking about in last week's episode, like once you have children, your lives are so
Yeah.
different. So it's
Yeah.
like your way to kind of reconnect and recap with everyone.
That's what Instagram's for.
But yeah, I feel like we're at a point in time where it's like, okay, just text me back
Yeah.
then.
we see the highlights.
If
Okay.
you get a gift for someone, card makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solo card, strange.
Now I'm starting to collect cards.
Oh,
I've kept every birthday
Me
card
too.
since I'm 15 years old.
Or
I flipped out on
I-
TJ
If I
the
go
other day.
somewhere
Why?
that has really cute cards and they're at a great price,
Oh.
I buy a bunch of them because Patricia's always like, "We need a card. We got to go to this place to buy cards." I'm like, I already have a whole bunch that are really great, and so
That is fun if you go to, when you travel, pick up like a little what are
Especially
they
internationally, like
Like a
black ones.
postcard.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants now, especially in New York, they give out postcards like as they bring the bill over.
Oh,
yeah.
And
that's
I
nice.
always keep them, and then I'll like write a little note of like who I was with, what the date was, and then I
Oh,
have them
that's
like
nice. A
all in
little
my little
journal?
box. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, why
that's
did
nice.
TJ or why did you get mad at TJ?
Because there was a pile of cards on the counter that I like set aside to put into my little box, and I went to throw something away, and he had moved them to the trash, and I was like, "We don't throw away cards in this house."
It depends on how well written of the note is in the card. Like if it is just like
Hey.
the text
Yeah.
from the card and
And
you
then
just wrote
happy
your
birthday,
name,
yeah.
sorry, I'm not keeping that. But it
Agreed.
has to be at least 3 sentences
Yeah.
from the heart, and
100%.
I'll keep it.
I don't know if other people. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
At that point, it's literally like, "Why did you give this to me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Could have
I
just
don't-
said-
That's where I'm like,
Why
what
did
are
you
we
spend
doing
money
here?
on this? Like, I'm mad
Yeah.
at you for wasting your money."
yeah, wasting your money.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this was like everyone did this back in the day, but before there was like phones that had pictures and stuff. I remember relatives coming back from like vacations being like, "Oh, can we go through the photos of my
Yeah.
vacation?" And they'd be like literally the developed photos. And I'm
I
like,
loved
don't,
that.
Oh,
I
sitting with a
hated
photo
it.
album
I
on the
love
couch.
I'm just
that.
like, I get it. You're at a pretty sunset.
That sticky
Did
plastic.
your parents scrapbook at all?
No.
I would get so jealous of like scrapbook kids who's like their parents scrapbooked because I thought they were so cool. I'm like, Mom, why don't you do this? And she's like, I don't want to fucking do all
art.
of that. Yeah, but like I always think just
Project.
scrapbooks before the internet were such a cool way of like reliving your memories.
Yeah.
Like your vacation looked 10 times cooler if it was like all in a scrapbook.
I love physical photos.
Yeah.
I do now as an adult, but when I was a kid, I was just like, I don't want to look at your pictures of the hotel, like pictures of an
I
aquarium.
really hate that when you go to a photo booths like now, they always put a filter on them. And like when you get the printed picture, if you go to like, an event, they have the photo booth and they'll print a picture, but they always are putting some fucking Instagram filter on it. It's like,
Yeah.
this is
It's like
not,
a smoothing filter.
yeah, this is not what we look like. Why are we doing this? Like, this looks awful.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever saw something like that was when I was in Tokyo, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this is crazy!" It's like
They make you
filtering
like
my
anime.
face. Yeah, but they also
Oh.
had just like face filters, and I was like, "Whoa,
That's so, I don't need a physical print of a, yeah.
Oh, wait. Do you
Go
want-
ahead.
I was gonna say, I think an outdated thing is respecting your elders. If you are not respecting me, I'm not gonna respect
Yeah,
you.
that's
I don't
fair.
care that you're older than me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a little weird because it's like, what if they're terrible to you? Like,
Yes.
you have to respect them? I don't think
Yes.
so.
I hate when I see stuff like that online, and it's like an old person like being an absolute piece of shit, and like half the comments are like, "You need to be respectful. Like they're older than you." Blah blah blah. I'm like, what?
No, that's cringe.
Don't
Just
say that
because
'cause
you're
they're
old,
old.
you don't get to be a
It's
dick.
like a full boomer mentality
Yeah.
that really bothers.
It's because back
me.
in their day, it was like a whole
Yes.
thing. So
Yeah.
like that'll phase out, I think.
Well, yeah, they went to fucking World War II. Give them give 'em
them
a
a
break.
break.
Let them in
Yeah.
front of you in the grocery store. But now,
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
like, no, absolutely not. Matt, you had one you were going to pull up?
Oh yeah. One was a lot of toys are marketed towards young boys consist of things like cars and guns, and it's weird because girls also get marketed like toy kitchen sets, vacuum cleaners, and stuff.
As
and,
it
like,
should
baby
be.
dolls.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you-
But,
Have you ever watched this podcast before? That's what we believe in. That's a joke.
Right. I just think that's
Are they
that
still
is
doing that?
outdated, but it still happens. But I
Yeah.
think sometimes you need like kitchen sets. Like don't I think always need to be just like these pinky girly looking things. They should be like a little neutral for like both people.
Yeah, they could be-
both kids to be able to like play and enjoy it. Baby
well, boys
dolls
can
are,
play with
like-
pink stuff.
Yeah, they can't. Oh, yeah, true, true. But I think some toxic masculinity kind of goes down in like little boys' heads. We're like, I don't want to play with that because that's a pink thing and that's a girl thing. They start seeing those patterns and it makes them think that society is like this way, or they can't chase their own interest into something because it is pink and it is labeled. There's nothing wrong with playing with the pink thing. But
Little boys would be like, I don't
they're
like
just like they think that they can't touch it or be seen with it because it is pink. When if it's like a little bit more neutral and both kids can play with it.
It used to
Yeah.
be flipped also. That pink used to be the boy color and blue used to be the girl color in like the 1900s.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. there's like articles and you could get in like magazines and stuff, and it's like having a boy, get this pink nursery set, and pink used to be the boy
I'm so
color.
happy girls got pink.
I'm not sure why or when it changed, but yeah, like
Interesting.
stuff shifts like that all the time.
Whoa.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's been like a forever thing because it's so ingrained in my head.
Yeah, no, we
like-
think pink is girl, but like it's literally only been like 100 years or so, which
Yeah.
Girl.
That's actually
is you
interesting.
looking it up?
Yeah. I
It's
don't
a-
really like know how to Google it.
My neighbor
The
is,
bee.
my neighbor was throwing away a kitchen set, and it's like literally neutral. That's so
Yeah.
weird that you said that because I just noticed. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like how it should. But
Yeah.
like
In the 19th century, baby boys often wore white and pink. Pink was seen as a masculine colors, while girls often wear white and blue.
So then what is everyone so upset about these days?
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe if it did like one toy that like Barbie come along and it was like so
Pink
aggressively
for
pink,
girls.
and then that just dominated how people saw it in their heads.
in the 1920s, pink was seen as a color that reflected masculinity.
In the 20s?
Yeah,
You should
it's-
tell that. You should post that on Facebook.
Oh, they would lose their fucking minds.
Remember like
That's fake news media.
Do you remember like early 2000s when suddenly like pink was back, like for like
Oh,
men
yeah.
to wear pink? It was like only real men wear pink.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
know, Abercrombie's doing pink stuff,
Yep.
and it was such a flex to wear pink. You were like,
It's a boy's color.
Yeah, pink also
Ooh.
looks really good on like men, especially when they're like tan and stuff. Like it's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
color.
I
still
love
wear I
pink.
love
I
it.
know, me too.
An outdated social custom, a woman taking a man's last name.
Oh. Yeah,
I
that's true.
think like you should just pick the better name.
yeah. Whoever has a cooler name. It's like
Yeah.
Why
I've
are we
done
even
this.
doing that?
I know.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like you're a
think it shows
unit.
unity.
Yeah. Like I get it,
But
but,
but
it's still,
taking his name,
yeah.
I think you should just be given the option. Like, oh, whose name's better?
Yeah, who's got the cooler name?
Yeah.
Or who would have a horrible name if we combined this? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's weird.
Like
So
Ralph-
my
Ralph
brain
is- Ralph
thinks
is.
about it though. Like all respect though to people who want to do it.
Here
but,
we
like,
go.
if Patricia didn't want to take my name, I mean, we still haven't fully done it legally. But if she never wanted to do it, it would make me feel like, oh, like she's not like
But would you want to take hers?
Flack.
Yeah.
If my name was something not as good as
Yeah, but
Flack.
so that's how she probably feels.
Yeah, sure. I would take her name if it actually sounded a lot
I
better.
think King is
But-
a really cool last
but
name, though.
Not
Your
without
last name's King.
my career. What it is people know me by that name. If I like switched up my
No,
last
of
name
course.
to it, I don't know actually what I'm talking about.
I encountered this. I have a friend who's like a very like feminist, leftist, like full on that side of it, and she got married, and then it was like a weird thing where I was like, oh, she's gonna have to change her name. That feels so like oppressive and patriarchal to like now you're forced to change your name just because you got married. I don't get it.
Well, you
one's
don't have
forcing
to.
you.
I mean, up until what 10 years ago, it was like,
Of course.
Pretty much everyone did.
Yeah.
there's nobody that it's such
What
a
a
new
hassle. I mean,
it's
Aaron-
such a
Hyphenate
new
it.
phenomenon.
I hate that.
The hyphen.
I
Why-
hate a
why do you hate
hyphen.
that?
So just pick one.
Okay.
Just pick one.
yeah, I wouldn't want a hyphenated last name. It'd make it too confusing.
Yes, it's too many names.
Also, Jews do when it's too Jewish. Oh, Goldberg, Hirschlag. I'm like, okay, guys.
Can you do half and half and get like
It's
the
not
You're
gonna
like
make
a
it any
full
better.
law firm at that point.
Yeah. Goldstein, Applebaum.
It's like it's just
Oh, yeah. I just think like pick the cooler name. Like for me, I was like, yeah, I'll take your last name. Like I get to become a new person. Like fine.
Yeah.
But if you feel like so strongly and like you don't want to change it, like who fucking cares? Don't.
it's funny how that's referred to as your maiden name.
Yeah.
Oh, your
Yeah.
maiden name.
Yes.
Wasn't it like the maiden voyage? It was your first name before you got married.
Oh yeah, it doesn't deal with like the feminine,
Oh, like you're a fair maiden?
like
Oh,
a fair
man.
maiden in Limerick Town.
Oh, maybe.
Limerick Town.
You guys are doing phenomenal Irish accents
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, what about this one? That the male needs to make the first move in courtship.
Oh, I actually had that as like a outdated, I think. I think like in terms of like texting first or
No, just like straight up making the move, going for the first kiss. Do you feel like
Oh, I think
a
it's
guy
fair.
should just go for the first kiss? And we're talking about like in I guess,
classic-
dating.
couples
Yeah.
in this situation.
I think the movie Hitch nailed it with Will Smith.
where he
You got to
say?
go in 90%, and then they got to
Yeah.
do the last 10.
Oh, okay. No, I think a girl can definitely go do the first
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I think-
okay. Or yeah.
Yeah, and I also think like if you like someone, I think you should text them if you're a girl.
Yeah, the
Not wait
mind
for
games
him to
people are
text you.
convinced that they need to play in dating is insane to me.
Well, it's
you-
because men suck.
Well, yes, but it also is just like, oh, you got to
Of
wait 2
course,
days. Don't
yeah.
text don't text 2 times in a row. God forbid. Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the double texting is
I
a whole
agree.
like.
It's the. I mean, you'll
But
see.
then
like,
it's so confusing. It's like he double texted me. How embarrassing. But then it's like, okay, but you were just complaining about him not texting
right, right.
Yeah.
you. I don't get it.
I love seeing videos of like girls or guys in their living room where they put the text on the screen and they do like a full play-by-play.
Analysis.
Okay, so what are we doing here, folks? We got to hit them with the smiley face
Yeah,
emoji.
yeah.
No, we're not doing smiley face emoji. It's too soon for emojis.
I love situations like that. Though,
Yeah.
Where you have
like
to
a friend
just-
is like, there's this girl. Okay, what do I say?
Yeah.
I love coming in and like being like, okay, this is how I would
Yeah.
say it, and then someone goes, no, this way.
I've done that before, and the people, like, it was for a girl that I was talking to, or a girl that I'm friends with. She was talking to this guy, and she wanted to see him again. And I was like, if you just do this, I promise you will see him again. She's like, I can't fucking do that. There's no way. You're crazy.
What was it?
I don't even remember, but it was just something like not.
Do you suck his dick?
Oh, no, I think was I
do
part
that.
of
Do this one
conversation?
thing,
I don't think so.
and he'll see you again.
Like Cosmo, this one thing. We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
your
yeah.
second date.
No, but it's just so
Sometimes
interesting
just
to
say,
see.
would love to see you this weekend, or like tying it like that, rather than like also being like, hey, are you free, or like this thing like that. If you just put
Just
that
be
out there,
bold. People are so
They're-
not bold. Like, people are so wishy-washy that if you just say like, let's do something tomorrow, like, just do that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something any crazy or difficult, but it's interesting to see like how a girl thinks about how the guy's going to receive something. I'm like, I'm a guy. If I got this text, I would just say, yeah, that sounds great.
Because girls are constantly being called crazy.
it's
Yeah.
so confusing sometimes to be.
Well,
Girl.
Aaron, if they're acting crazy.
Yeah, no, of course.
No, I know, but
I
yes.
think it's just
Yeah.
like
I don't want to be the crazy person
Yes.
and double text. But
Yes.
it's like that's not a crazy thing to do.
because all
Unless
our
you're like,
lives,
"Where the fuck
girls
you?"
are made out to be like crazy people. So
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god, I can't be crazy.
So yeah, you're right. That's like where it stems from.
Yeah.
Not wanting to like bother
Yes.
a
Do you
guy.
think younger kids and teens are even still like, concerned about the double text?
I don't know.
Because I
Maybe
feel like
not.
we grew up
They're
in
sending
such
voice
the,
memos.
we grew up in
Yeah.
like the T9 texting
Yeah.
stuff, and it was
was a whole
such
ordeal.
a feat to get the text through and to
Yeah.
finally get to you. I think
It was
we're more
war
paranoid
getting
about
there.
the second text.
Yeah.
They're chatting and commenting on fucking.
I think they're just
everything.
Snapchatting.
Yeah, but there's also levels. There's Snapchat, Instagram DM, texting,
Oh, yeah,
and those
then
are
you-
like levels of communication.
too
It's
many
just
things.
one room into another room, and then
Yeah,
you're finally
yeah.
like
oh
there.
my god.
It's funny how Snapchat like came back around.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
it always
I think
stayed.
it didn't leave.
I don't think so
I think
either. I
it
think-
left for us.
Yeah, I think it did too.
And now the only reason why people like us are on it is because they are making money.
yeah. Oh,
Remember
yeah.
when it was just fun?
Yeah.
I remember when stories weren't even a thing.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I know.
Just had the streak going.
Snapchat sometimes too much clicking
Disappeared.
around. I'm just like,
I
The
really
UI,
don't
it
get
looks
like-
awful.
I don't
It
know
looks
how
like
to
it's for
use that.
8-year-old Willy Wonka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Willy Wonka.
Shaking hands.
oh yeah, this filthy.
I feel like we should get rid of that.
yeah.
I do like a proper handshake.
The worst
You know
though
what I
is
don't like? Well, when you're meeting someone for the first time, and they like go for a hug, I'm like, okay, sure. If you're fine with a hug, I would
At a
never
party, though?
hug somebody for the first time.
At
I
a
always
party,
do.
I think I do too.
I do. That's-
But
It always happens like if like I'm at a bar, like, oh hey, these are my friends, so and so, so and so.
Like Saturday,
and then they go
I
in for
was-
like a hug. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't mind that.
You don't mind it?
I feel
And
like
I
that's pretty
also do
normal.
it.
Also, if you're introduced as like a friend of theirs.
Yeah.
Actually, if I see like 4 friends and it's hug, 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 and then
Yes.
they go,
Yeah.
this is our friend from Ohio. Like, oh, hi. Actually, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fine with that. As a man, do you get up if another man comes in and shake his hand?
I used to not think about it, but then I read somewhere that that's like the
You should
most
stand up.
Yeah, always stand up to greet anybody, no matter who it is. If you're sitting down and someone that you know comes in, stand up to greet them. And I was like, that's a great thing. And then like the next day, I ran into Toby at a restaurant, the actor, and
McGuire?
No, different one.
Toby Loss?
Toby.
Yeah. And he was like sitting with like a bunch of people,
Tobes.
and like I was just like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like just like trying to whatever. And he got up from the table, came over, shook my hand, and was like, "So good to see you." And I was like, "What a fucking man!" Like it's just such a good.
Yeah.
Such a man.
It's like a
Don
good. It's a
Draper
good. It's something that you wouldn't really think
Yeah.
about. Like if Matt walks in, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, dude?" But you want to get up and show respect. Like growing up in the school where the teachers would choke us, if the teacher ever came in, if a
was
teacher ever
insane.
comes into a room, you stand up for the teacher.
What?
Yeah.
You
What?
would have to do that?
Anytime an adult comes into the room, you stand up for them, and then you
Damn.
wait till they sit down, and then you sit down.
Oh yeah. I
You're
feel
like,
I've
we're
seen that.
Jewish. We've already been through enough.
No, it was all Jewish. It was an all Jewish school.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It was like a respect thing.
I don't respect anyone enough to do that.
I don't know, kind
Not
of
even
like
God.
that.
Not even Jesus himself.
I don't know. I just think it's like a way of like
Only
getting
God.
students like attention and like we're
Yeah.
here to focus on this person who's teaching. You should stand up.
It's
like
just-
I that sounds
No.
very old school, but like I think it can shift kids' mindsets to being like, oh, I
mean,
have to pay attention to this.
Think about this. If we're at like a dinner, okay, and then Barack Obama walks in, are we all not just going to stand up and wait
No,
for him
for
to come
sure
in?
we
Like,
are.
there is something to it.
Yeah, there is.
Barack.
Yeah, I know. But when you're a kid, the principal is Barack Obama. Like, there.
It's the person that
That's
who,
silly.
No, I saw the principal and be like, ugh.
Yeah, like I'm out to dinner, I'm having fun. Of course, I'll stand up.
Yeah,
Stand up.
I guess.
Not like in a prison for 8 hours a day and then having to stand anytime an adult walks in the room.
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
sucks.
Like, I can't even eat in class.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You don't let us talk. You
Also,
make
if
us
I were the
stand.
teacher, I would feel so uncomfortable. I'd be like, oh my God, sit down. This
And
is
I'd be like, don't look at
embarrassing.
me.
do you guys do Irish goodbyes or when
Yes.
you leave
Yeah.
a party? Do
I
you
love an
like
Irish goodbye.
go
Oh my
around
God.
saying goodbye to people?
No,
I'll
I-
say
I-
goodbye to the host and my favorite person in the room, and then I'll leave.
I'm
Yeah, I just-
typically Irish.
Depends, but yeah, you don't need to, especially if it's a party. Like, a lot of people
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah, the party doesn't really matter. I think usually I'll say bye to, like, whoever's hosting, but that's it. But Nolan likes to talk, and I'm like, no, we got to just run out here.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to talk to this person real quick and say bye to this. I'm like, they don't care. Like, in
Yeah.
my mind, I'm like, no one cares you're leaving. It's fine. Not in a bad way. It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. I mean, where you are, I guess. If you're at an intimate hangout, of course, you're going to say bye to everyone after
Yeah.
you leave. But if it's like a party, yeah, I'm out. Or like emo night, I'll just like leave.
Yeah.
Do we think it is outdated to have the man ask the woman's parents for permission to marry them?
Yes. No, it's not outdated. Well, it depends on like.
Pick a
I
side.
don't know. If I found out my daughter got proposed to and like this guy didn't even check in with me, it's just more of just a heads up, this is coming. It's not like, I think the whole permission thing,
Right.
like a yes and no
Is, like,
thing
outdated.
that's really,
Yeah.
it's more of like, hey, I'm giving you a heads up, I want
It's
to do
a
this.
customary thing.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement.
feel
And you're not asking for permission, you're asking for a blessing.
Yeah, I feel like telling the parents, not even just the dad, like just the parents, just to have like the conversation, just so they know.
Yeah, I just think it's out of respect.
Well, what about women proposing to men?
Ooh,
It's a little cringe.
But it happens.
it happens.
I
I think
know.
it's fine, but like I would never
I have
do
a
that.
buddy
I
who
would
got
never.
proposed to one time.
Oh my
And it was
God.
like,
But why is it's crazy that it's like so in our heads that like it's weird.
Because
Big
it's just been the same way
They're
for
a
so
big
long.
academic
I know.
couple. They like do gender studies and stuff. And I think
Oh.
he also knew that his wife wanted to do it.
Did
as
she
a
have
way
to call
like,
her dad? Or
Yeah.
I don't
his
know.
dad?
I didn't ask. I just saw the pictures and I was like, oh boy. Like I don't know. It's just so striking seeing the guy being like, and the wife is down on the knee. It's like, oh, that's.
I think because if I proposed to someone, I'd be like, what if he just said yes because he felt like he had to?
Yeah.
I'd be like really paranoid.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
I think, yeah, also just like as a girl, it's like, I don't want to do that. You better ask me.
Yeah. I do enough.
Yeah.
It's been, I mean, it's just been such a custom for so long that
Totally.
it's definitely a strange one to do
And
that.
it's like the woman is the one in a straight relationship. The woman is the one that gets the jewelry
Yeah,
when you get proposed
it's the most
to.
feminine thing. It's like to get proposed
Yeah.
to too. And this is once again straight.
Yeah, it's like very gender norm,
Yeah,
but yeah.
heteronormative like thing we're
Relationship.
picking at. So, but I don't know. I mean, if you want to do it and you talk about it to your husband that you would like to propose to him, and if he is fine with that, then by all
Yeah,
means
of
go do
course.
that.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if I like saw it, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'd be
As
like,
a
"Oh,
guy,
poor girl."
I would feel just like, oh my gosh, all these people are gonna like. I'd feel like a little embarrassed, but I would love the moment. But just the image of it, I'd feel like embarrassed by. That's my anxious brain speaking. But that's not my like. I think that truly.
Two of
Also-
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, sorry.
Go ahead. I was like, also wearing white on your wedding day. It's kind of an outdated norm where white really means you're a virgin.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah.
They wore the
Yeah.
white for?
Yeah, because
Purity.
you're pure. And people like now it's just everyone wears white for their wedding.
Not
I think
everyone.
you should
Well, not
wear
everyone,
white at
but-
your wedding because that distinguishes that you are the bride at your wedding?
Now it makes more sense
If
that
you're
way,
to
yeah.
just blend in with all the other guests.
Well,
like,
I feel like no matter what, you'll know who the bride is.
Yeah, it's got
Like
to
my
be pretty wild.
my
to go to a
friend,
wedding and
my
not
friend
know
wore
who-
a pink dress.
did she make everyone else wear a certain color to make? I just think as a bride, you should stand out from everyone.
She stood out.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I guess if you're like a friend, like a +1, maybe you wouldn't know if they weren't wearing white.
You would know. It's always going to be like probably like a better gown.
Yeah, it's not like a bridesmaid dress.
Yeah.
Or like this one had no idea was a thing, and this was one of them. I'm like, what if everyone knows this exists? But do you guys know what calling cards are?
Yeah.
Like when you visit someone's house.
Oh.
Wait, no.
No.
Is it like a social business card? Like,
Yeah, it says when you visited someone, you would leave your card with a butler or maid who would place it on a tray and take it to the person you were visiting. The card's texture, engraving style, and even the time you left it could convey information about you, such as your social position. If the person you were visiting didn't have a card for you, it could be a sign that they didn't want to be friends.
oh, it's like Facebook. Like, yeah, I kind of like
They
this.
didn't wanna be
Because that's the way you could
friends.
keep track of like who you had over, who you met. Oh, I want to call up that
Got a little
person. It's your way
Rolodex.
of like collecting your social network of friends.
That's
Yeah.
so you always have a card on you, and if you give me yours, but I don't give you mine, it's like,
I guess
no
so,
thanks,
yeah.
I'll see you
What
later.
what if you don't have any on you?
Well, I think that's part of then, but then you'd maybe bring it up like
I would
back in the day. You'd
communicate
be
it.
like,
Like,
"Oh,
I
I'm
do wanna
so
be
sorry, I'm
friends,
out of
there's
cards.
yeah.
Can I write?
Just
Can I
send me
write
a
it?"
telegram.
Oh God.
Wow, so people were doing like social media like back in the day.
Oh,
Like this
yeah.
is
Oh,
that
yeah.
that is
The OG.
follow for follow Fridays.
It'd be interesting to live a day in like that era where it's like,
Hosting was just so huge too, like, or back in the gender norms of where the guy was like working all day. The wife, especially if you were a high up of social status, you would be hosting these parties for women to come over and play cards, and you would just talk about the social gossip. But you had to do that to stay relevant and like be a person of interest and power. It's like you had to host,
Yeah.
and you had to have people over
It
and
used
enjoy
to
your
be
nice stuff.
when they were like, the idea of a restaurant has not always been around, and it used to be considered rude to have strangers see you eat. It would almost be like going to the bathroom. Like you don't go to the bathroom in front of people, you don't eat in front of people.
What?
And so when they
Interesting.
first started, I heard about this on Conan's podcast. He was like, and so people, when they would first set up restaurants, they would only have like a few tables. They were very far apart. And it was just considered very rude to be seen eating in front of somebody. And now we don't even think about it. And there's things like today that we probably think would be insanely rude. But in 100 years from now, we won't even think about. But
it's like slurping. In other countries, it's a sign of respect. And here it's like sign of
slurping is
Yeah,
a
like
sign
if you're
of
eating,
respect.
like,
it means,
ramen
it means
or
you like their
something.
food.
Going,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
I noticed though in Japan and Korea, like you can't be consuming or eating things like on the go. Like
Oh.
you can't.
Well, they have no
they're,
trash cans anywhere.
Like right,
Because
no
they don't
trash
want you
cans,
to do
but-
that.
But it's also just like moving. Like you can't be like walking around with a like ice cream cone. You need to be like going and like sitting in an area, almost like you're having a cigarette or whatever, and
Yeah.
consume that food
Interesting.
product. Even when I was on the airplane, I was just going down the aisle and I was like had a Sprite in my hand. I just drank the Sprite. And I was like, this would be such a no-no in like Japan or Korea that I'm just walking down the aisle drinking
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'd pass out coming to a grocery store here and eating grapes, like shopping.
Yeah.
One I had was, I mean, this is like obvious, but I just always think about it. Mourning dress code, like when you're mourning, like going to a funeral.
Oh.
Like wearing black is not like really a thing. Like late 20th century was when it kind of went out of
Oh, I
style.
feel like it's
Who's
still
not
pretty.
wearing black?
Well, you still do, but it's just not like required.
You're
Now
showing up
sometimes people are
tie-dye with a
celebrating
visor.
life.
Yeah.
I think it depends on like the type
Yeah.
of death, but I feel like sometimes people are like dress colorful. They would have wanted it.
Yeah. Because in my mind, I'm like, I always need to wear black to a funeral, but
Yeah.
it's
I
not
always
like
have a funeral
no.
suit. I have a black suit just for funerals.
Oh
Oof.
gosh, the funeral suit.
Ugh.
What?
I don't know. Is
creepy.
that like front and center in your closet? You're seeing it every day?
No, it's not.
Teachers not letting kids pee.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just beyond it. That's just torture. That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
It is. There has to be like a system because obviously they don't let them because they're like, what if they just like walk around the school or whatever? It's
Yeah.
like I understand the reasoning, but it's like it's not right.
You
There were
have
certain kids that were allowed. This is talking about elementary school. We would have bathroom breaks where we would all go out,
Yeah.
and this was your time to pee. And then,
But not everyone's
elementary school,
bladder.
They wouldn't let you go use the bathroom during class. But middle school, you could. You would ask for a bathroom pass.
Yeah.
But even sometimes teachers would be like, no.
But I knew some kids in elementary school who had bladder issues, and they were allowed to go pee.
I feel like, I think when I got to high school, we would get like hall passes. So like there'd be hall monitors. So it's like,
Yeah.
you would get caught if you were just
We had a
jacking
teacher in middle school who, if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to put a toilet seat over your
Yeah.
head.
off. I think you told us
He
this.
did, yeah.
That
Oh
is-
yeah, you would like to show
That's
that you're
shame.
yeah.
Coach Beach would
Shame.
do that.
Oh, of course he was a
Shame.
coach. What's he doing now? What's she doing now?
Probably coaching volleyball still.
When you would have syphilis, back in the day, they'd tell you to rub mercury on it, which is toxic.
No, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. There's also like sorry, this just like goes with it.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, it says, today we would feel deranged to think we could cure a cold with a small dose of heroin. Yet 100 years ago, this was a common ingredient in many cold remedies and cough syrups. How about a little cocaine to treat your toothache? Just head down to your local pharmacy and grab it off the shelf, no script necessary.
Whoa.
When you're there, don't forget to pick up some morphine and opiates, as they were also available over the counter.
Let's get a time machine.
Get that fixed.
That's crazy.
They probably were not nearly as strong as they are
Yeah.
today.
But they were definitely in it.
But it's crazy.
It was
that
just Advil.
yeah, they put like cocaine in like Coke
Yeah.
when it first came out.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy.
Yum.
Tattoos used to be just if you have a tattoo, you're a criminal working at a liquor store or just like never gonna get a real job.
My parents' friends, like when I visit, they'll be like, "I love your piercings. They're so what's the word? They're so
Edgy.
not dainty, but
Delicate?
yes, it's like word like that where it's like they're not like
Edgy.
gross. I don't know. It's just weird.
I see what you're
They're
saying.
like it's so I can't think of the word. Whatever.
Intricate?
No, it's like a nice word like.
Elegant?
Fine.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it's basically the opposite of like gross. And I'm like, what? I don't know. It's just weird. It's like, how would what?
Yeah, but like I mean I remember growing up if you saw someone with a tattoo.
Sorry, I just remembered it. Tasteful.
Your piercings
Sorry,
are
yes.
tasteful?
It's like, like you have so many piercings, but they're so tasteful.
Nice.
And I'm like, is it like a back-ended comment?
You're
I
like,
think that
oh,
is
one of my
nice.
nipples is
Well-
also pierced. Do you want to
I told
see
to my dad, I
that?
was like, what if I get my vagina pierced?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Mike would love.
Do you think more and more people get tattoos every year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think
It
they're way
is-
more common.
I like take note of it now. I think that there are more people with tattoos than without tattoos now. Like when I'm out and about.
That's.
Well,
I-
and LA. You're in LA
That's
too.
true.
Oh yeah, I guess like in a
You
city.
think there's more people who have tattoos than there
Walk
are
around
people?
anywhere you go.
Should we look?
I
Every
think
single
so.
person has a tattoo.
Okay, based on a city, or are we talking about the United States population?
I'm saying where I live. Let's call it Los
How
Angeles.
many people in Los Angeles have tattoos?
I don't think we're gonna get a statistic on that, but anytime you go out of your house, you will see someone under 30 with a tattoo.
Well, okay, it says according to the 2023 Pew Research Center, 32% of American adults have at least one tattoo.
Whoa.
22% having more than one.
So one out of every 3 people in the whole country has one. That number for sure goes up when it gets younger people, so like 30 and below. And in cities where there's like,
Cool people.
yeah, like cool, hip, cultured people.
Cool people.
I'm just telling, it's something I've noticed because I don't have any,
Yeah.
I will never get one. And on like dating apps, I see it. Every single girl has a tattoo on a dating app. Every single girl when you go out to a bar. I don't know. Guys too. Every single guy has some.
Yeah, I think it is
Like-
like being in LA for sure.
I
But it used to just be like a death sentence for your career. If you
I
got-
was gonna
yeah.
say, like, it was like a thing. Honestly, there's still some places that are like, if you have
Some,
tattoos
yeah.
that you can see, like, you can't work here. That was a big thing for like, flight attendants.
Oh yeah.
My friend, she wanted to be a flight attendant, but she was like so worried because she was like, oh my God, what if they can see this tattoo? Like, I won't be able to do it.
I had a teacher
And
in
if
high
you had
school.
colored
If
hair.
I had a pilot coming on like full fucking sleeve or face tattoos, I'd be like,
Well, you're trapped in the 90s.
sorry. No, actually, I take that back. No, that's badass. My bad.
You can think that it's fine.
I had a high school teacher who always had to wear long sleeves, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Brother, it is 90 degrees outside. What are you wearing?" And he had like a tattoo that, if he would have worn short sleeves, like would have just peeked out a little
Oh,
bit.
my God.
And he's like, "Yeah, they would fire me if they saw that." And
He
that
should have
was
made
no-
like custom.
Yeah.
like a custom length.
Yeah.
Or get
but
the
now,
makeup
but
and
now
just-
I'm pretty. She's still a teacher there. We follow each other on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure he just wears t-shirts and he
Nice.
has full sleeves now.
Oh, cool.
And it's
Slay.
just like I think that's a good cultural shift because it's just such a silly thing to be
It's
like,
so dumb.
oh, don't be friends with him. He has tattoos.
It's funny too that was a thing. Like, oh my god, tattoos bad, but like so many veterans get
No,
tattoos
literally,
and stuff, and it's like, what?
My dad's tattoos are like the ones that you see that are like mom, like because
Oh,
yeah,
he
the
was a
classics.
vet, like
Those
literally
are like sick again.
yeah, like would have like those kinds of tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. Like literally, people who fought for our country had them, but if we got them, it was like, you're disgusting.
But just the amount of people who 15, 20 years ago, their whole career got derailed.
Yeah.
Because they have like a heart on their sleeve. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. But this is one of those things I think is a good new norm that we
Well,
don't
and
have.
they would do it with hair color too,
Oh, yeah, if you had a different hair color.
like pink,
Yeah. Or red.
purple.
Carly.
Yeah,
Yep. I'm a
so
rebel.
dumb.
Yeah. People are just scared of change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't be a respiratory therapist if I kept my hair that color.
You
They
can
told
be a
me
what?
when I was in school for respiratory therapy, my instructor was like, "You will have to change your hair," and I was like, "Okay, I'm done."
But like, why? Like literally, why?
Because
there was
so
it's the
stupid.
leftover from like
Yeah.
the
It's so
Puritans.
It's so stupid. It's like you
So
don't get
crazy.
you don't have as much respect.
Had
I
you
guess.
seen the intro of the Olympics? We're going down as a society.
Yeah.
I know. There's the devil everywhere. Yeah, that's when I decided I couldn't be a respiratory therapist.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's bullshit. Yeah, they shouldn't hire you for that. But yeah, if you had a heart surgeon coming in with like crazy green colored hair, I'd be like,
But why?
Well, I don't know. It's just it just doesn't feel. I don't know. I don't feel.
I get what you're like. I get where you're coming from. I do because
Sure, like if I was getting like a pedicure from someone with green hair, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, whatever.
Like whatever. I think it's the seriousness of it. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
I don't.
But if like a doctor,
It's just it's a sense of professionalism. That's what I'm getting at. Where this is a very serious thing that we're doing here. Is we're doing open heart surgery, and you're coming in with green
Manic
pink
panic, baby.
hair. It's
Yeah.
just like I want to feel, and we just want to create a safe environment. And I don't think that you're dangerous, but it doesn't communicate to me
Yeah.
like you're a serious.
Is that crazy?
It doesn't communicate that you're a serious person. I think you could be a pediatrician and a fun nurse with kids and stuff and have pink hair. Okay.
What do you think of
Maybe you could be even a
tattoos?
cancer doctor with kids and have pink hair because you need to create a fun, safe environment for them.
What about if you were getting surgery and you saw the surgeon had tattoos?
If they had face tattoos, I would be like a little like,
Just right here.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm a surgeon.
But who knows? Maybe they were a vet as well, and they served their time, and then they were a surgeon and went through medical school and
I
did the
don't-
damn thing. It's just I don't know. I would
Okay.
just be a little like, oh,
I'm trying
my
to like
goodness.
really put myself like when I was getting my appendix out. I think if the surgeon came up to me before, because he did, and if he had like crazy colored hair, I probably wouldn't be like, I don't want him to do the surgery. I'd just be like, that's crazy.
I think it's
Didn't know they could
also
do
the
that.
style. If he had like
Yeah.
a green mohawk, I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want this like the
And it's like
mohawk.
why?
splotchy,
So
like
why,
doing it
though?
himself.
Because
That's exactly
the
what I'm
mohawk
going
is
on.
that's like a choice. The mohawk is a choice, but
So is just having the green hair is a choice as well. This is like deeply what we're doing is like picking apart just like prejudice, and I don't want this to
I
make it
know,
seem like
it's just
I'm having preconceived notions. I feel like everybody has the right to express themselves, but I can see in certain professional environments how you would be like, we don't want you having green hair because we need to communicate that we're a serious business and we're taking our patients seriously.
But
like
what
a
makes someone
lawyer.
with different color hair less serious?
I think it's like a little bit of fun, expressive
it's like
personality. In a way, it's a
society
distraction.
Yeah.
It's a distraction to what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And we need to communicate. We want the business to run well. And we want to communicate to our clients. We
or
take
like
it
a lawyer,
seriously.
like in a court, and your lawyer has a suit but
Green mohawk.
a purple mohawk. It's like
And
if
like
he was a
they-
good lawyer, what if he was the best
Saul
lawyer?
Goodman.
Oh,
That's
so
all
yeah, it can be in those types of scenarios. Of course, someone can be the best at anything
Yeah.
and rock the fucking do.
Yeah.
Go more power to you. Hopefully, yeah, you get good business from doing that. But
Yeah, it's like I wonder why do we think it's like, oh, that's crazy.
I think it's just
Not that I think it's crazy, but it's like, yeah, if I had a surgeon come in with like bright green hair, like I've just never seen it before.
Because we associate like
it's
people
not
who-
normal. It's not
people who have
normalized.
people who accessorize in that type of way maybe have a different type of career path and way they like
That's
to
true, yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
themselves and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I think
it
we're
just
just-
doesn't
yeah,
fit the norm
of what we're
we
used to
see
right now.
for
Yeah.
a surgeon.
I think it'll change though.
Maybe
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more that maybe y'all didn't know, but women used to not drink alcohol or like be out in bars.
What?
Like the bars used to be a place for the men to go and drink with each other and then go home to their wives, and like women were never seen in bars. And I saw a video of it was like in Australia in the 80s, and they were like, well, we're going to it was like, we're going to integrate this bar and allow women into the bar. And all these dudes are like, we don't want no women here. This is where we come to
This
be.
is all
It's like a
bar.
man cave.
Yeah, and like but the woman was like, well, wouldn't you love if there was like a beautiful woman sitting next to you, and then you see it click in his head, and he's like,
See,
and
men are dumb.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I know.
But it was a wild thing that like the bars. I mean, you think about like the saloons.
That's crazy.
Saloons.
In the old west, in the
Yeah.
saloons, there's not a women at the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah, they would have
Yeah,
like
they would have
prostitutes.
prostitutes.
But no, but they're not.
They're hired.
They're doing a service. There aren't women
Enjoying
socializing at the bar.
I
Like
think it's ridiculous how strip clubs are called gentlemen's club. You're like this
No,
is like the least
gentlemen's go.
gentleman thing ever that you're going and just tossing dollar bills.
They're
on
trying to
them.
make it like seem more classy, I think.
Yeah.
So that is funny.
But yeah, and even drinking alcohol, women. Oh no, I don't indulge. Like drinking alcohol for a woman was like a faux pas.
Sin.
Yeah. Huh. I know. We've
Like
come
how
a long
long
way.
ago?
Probably like the 1800s. I feel like.
Oh, wow.
1999.
Yeah. But just no women in bars is crazy because that's our entire culture now. Is people go meet each other at
Yeah.
bars.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to just be like
Only
men in
men.
the saloon with their guns and their whiskey and their cards and like, yeah, there were just like bars were just gentlemen's clubs, but then, well, not real strip clubs, but yeah.
Right, but I think because the prostitution was going on, they didn't want the women in there knowing that they were like cheating on their wives
Oh,
or
maybe.
like getting up to all that debauchery with like civil women present viewing them.
And
Because then they would be like, oh,
have you seen the video in the 80s when they passed the no drinking and driving law?
No.
Oh, yeah.
It was like an ABC interview, like in the South somewhere, and they passed a legal law that you cannot drink and drive anymore. Like it used to be, you could have a beer on your
Oh,
way home
yeah.
from work, and all these guys in the
Whoa.
South were like, "This is un-American. It's about our freedom. If I want to drink a beer on my way home, I could do it." And now it's like, yeah, no,
That's
fucking
crazy now.
It sounded like they were like anti-vaxxers of like, they're not going to make me take a vaccine. They're
Yeah.
like, they're not going to take away
So they've
my
always
beer.
been that way.
Yeah, basically,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Just people who are
I mean, it'd be nuts if you're driving and someone's just drinking like a Bud Light. Like on the freeway. I'd be
in
like,
Europe, though, you still can. I think you can drink a beer while you're driving as long as it's like under a certain limit. I might be wrong about
Huh.
that, but I think it's a little bit more relaxed
have you
in
ever
Europe.
gotten in someone's car and they have like the
breathalyzer?
The breathalyzer in the car
No.
to start the car. When I was 16, I was working at this baseball park, and it was like one of my first weeks there. And we went to like go eat at Sonic, like with all the employees, and we got in this girl's car, and she was like, pulled out the breathalyzer thing and was doing it. I'm like, what's that?
At least you know
And
she's
everyone's
sober.
Like, Matt, stop. And I was like, what? I was like, and I realized what it was, and I was just quiet the whole time.
Oh my
But
god. I
actually
feel like
like
as a teen, I would have no idea.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, is that
like,
how you found out what it was, or you knew what it was and
I
you were
knew
like,
those existed because in like what 40-year-old virgin or whatever, Leslie
yeah.
Mann's character has one. I know that, and I knew they were in movies. But just like in the moment, I'm like, what are you doing?
I want to get one just to see, like, not for my car, but like a breathalyzer,
Yeah.
just to like see what I am at different points of drinking. I'm just.
Well, I
no
had
idea.
one, and when I
Yeah.
lived in Brooklyn, we bought one for parties just to see who
Oh,
was getting the
yeah.
most fucked up.
Oh, Matt Doan has one, and he brings it out.
Oh,
like,
really?
It's a
sometimes.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing. I gotta pee so
me
bad.
too. Me too.
Okay.
Bladders.
Our bladders are emptying right now.
Well, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Good
Outdated
Influences.
norm is segregated bathrooms.
Yeah, we all pee together. If
Oh.
you didn't know, we all pee in the same bathroom.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, he doesn't really like it. I don't think.
I mean, it's fine.
He waits outside.
Well, we peed next to each other.
That was the first time.
We held hands.
You must have really had to go.
Oh yeah, I did. Well, not in the same stall, just to be clear.
No, but we
were
held
in-
hands
Yeah.
underneath.
Okay.
and I said it was okay.
All right, we'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.